Welcome back to ShutDownAmericanCreditAcceptance.com. I'm Joshua Crampton with Multigen Law. Again, I remind you that we're not lawyers, and because of that, we can do whatever the hell we want. We're not bound by any laws. If we had a lawyer's license, we would be bound by those laws of the lawyers. Luckily, I'm not a lawyer, and we don't even give you legal advice. We show you what other victims have done to help their situation. A lot of you are very confused about what's going on in your life when your car gets repossessed because you don't realize that you've been scammed from day one. I tell this to people that contact us to try to give you comfort and peace of mind. There's a scam that American Credit Acceptance runs, and this video is going to educate you on how this scam works. I'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes. This is how the scam works. American Credit Acceptance partners with car dealerships. American Credit Acceptance has a training program that they give to car dealerships on how to sell their products, which are loans. There's a training program given to the sales managers, the finance managers who finance the loans and provide the loans. There's training that's given towards the sales managers who manage the salesmen. And there's a training program that's given to the purchasers. These are the men who purchase the vehicles for the car dealerships. There is a particular kind of car that American Credit Acceptance writes loans for. They educate car dealerships on precisely which cars to buy in order to sell to their victims. It first starts off with a high mileage vehicle. Now, the first thing that happens is they train the purchasers. These are the people who purchase cars for the dealerships. They train the purchasers to identify typically higher end vehicles like luxury cars, BMWs, Mercedes. Oftentimes people are on loans with Chevy Malibus and Chevy Silverados. We see a whole range of kinds of vehicles, but the typical outline of the vehicle that they'll purchase to sell for American Credit Acceptance is a higher mileage vehicle. The sales managers are then trained to up the price $3,000 to $5,000 more than what Kelley Blue Book value is for that car. So think about it. You have a car, it's a higher mileage car, typically over 80,000 miles. The car is at least 3 to 4 years old. And they add $3,000 to $5,000 on top of what the car is actually worth when they sell it to an American Credit Acceptance victim. What this does is keeps the victim in perpetuity upside down. Remember, American Credit Acceptance does not want you to pay off your car. They want to repossess your car. That is their business model. So by selling you a car that you're permanently, forever going to be upside down in, because they add $3,000 to $5,000 on top of the Kelley Blue Book value of the car, you are now permanently upside down. They then write the loans for about 23% to 28% interest, which is illegal. Every state in the United States has a usury law limit. This limits the amount of interest that can be charged on a loan. All of the loans for American Credit Acceptance most often violate that usury law. So on top of selling you an older car with higher mileage, which they've added $3,000 to $5,000 to, more than the car's worth, they then give you a usury interest rate that ensures you will never pay that car off. That car will break down and be worth nothing by the time you ended the loan. Most of the loans that we've seen dictate that the victim would pay 3 to 5 times what the car's worth if they actually stayed in the loan and paid it off. As an example, one of our victims purchased a $43,000 car. His payoff was $93,000 if he would have stayed in the loan. That means that he purchased a $40,000 vehicle. He purchased a vehicle that was worth $35,000. He bought it for $43,000 and then would have paid off $90,000 for this car. That is the kind of loans that American Credit Acceptance writes. They do this intentionally so that you will default on the loan. Typically what happens is after about a year to a year and a half, the victim realizes they've been scammed and then tries to get out of the loan and can't. They can't trade the car in. They can't sell the car. There's nothing they can do. It's called being trapped in an unserviceable loan. The reason why they add $3,000 to $5,000 on top of the worth of the car is so that you can never trade it in. You can never sell it because you owe more on the vehicle than the vehicle's worth. They do this intentionally. The second regime that they train, the first thing is they train the purchasers of the car dealerships to buy a certain kind of vehicle. The second thing they do is they train the salespeople. These are the salespeople that you would deal with at a dealership if you want to go purchase a car. The salespeople are then trained to say a specific script to you in order to get you into the loan. Most of you are smart enough that you wouldn't buy a vehicle at 28% interest. You know that it's not right. What happens is, and you need to look out for this, is there's a script that is used by the salespeople. This script is to present the loan to you. The first thing they do is make you wait for hours. This is part of the script. So you go in to buy a vehicle. They identify you as a person who has rough credit between 550 and 620. And if you're within that credit range, they'll try to put you in an American Credit Acceptance loan because they know that your credit's rough. So they identify you as a potential victim when you go to the dealership when they check your credit. When they check your credit at the dealership and they determine that your credit is between 550 and 620, they'll identify you as a victim. And when they identify you as a potential victim, then they will try to sell you these certain cars. What happens is you apply for the loan. The salespeople are trained to make you wait for at least 2 to 4 hours at the dealership to get an answer. The reason why they train the salespeople to make you wait is duress. They're trying to put you in duress. They're trying to make you desperate. Oftentimes, they'll get an answer back within 15 minutes of sending the application to American Credit Acceptance. That's all it takes, is 10 to 20 minutes in order to get a yes or a no back. However, they'll cause you to wait in the lobby 3 to 4 hours for an answer. This is strategic. It's deceptive. Then the salesperson will come back to you and they'll tell you, now listen, this is a specific script. They'll tell you that they're sorry they cannot get you approved. They've sent your loan to many banks and they all declined because of the credit, and that the only bank that will write them is American Credit Acceptance. We have more than 60 clients that we've represented in American Credit and shut down American Credit Acceptance. I can tell you that every single one of our clients was told this exact same thing, that they've tried to run the loan with many banks and only American Credit Acceptance would write them. The first thing that you should do is check your credit. You'll see that there was not 12, 13, 14 different banks that checked your credit. It was only American Credit Acceptance. So the salesperson is lying to you. They're telling you, first of all, they're making you wait 3 to 4 hours in the lobby while they act like they don't have an answer, while they act like they're running your application by many banks when they're not. After they make you wait an undue amount of time, they then come to you and explain that they could not get you financed anywhere else but through American Credit Acceptance, which is the second lie. So this whole thing from the start to the finish, from the moment that you walked into the car dealership to the moment you left, was scripted. What you experienced was a big scam. From the top to the bottom, this whole thing was planned to get you into an unserviceable loan that you will default in. The sales managers are trained. The purchasers for the dealerships are trained on what cars to buy. The finance managers are trained on how to put you into the loan and how to get you to pay for the loan. A lot of times, the finance managers, if you ask them, how am I going to pay off this loan that's 28% interest? They'll coach you to make 6 payments on time. And if you do that, then they'll tell you, make 6 payments on time, and then come back in and trade the vehicle in, and your credit will be better, and we'll put you into another loan that's better into another vehicle. What they know is that in 6 months, when you do try to come back in to trade the vehicle in and get into a better loan, you're so upside down in that car, you can't trade it in, nor can you sell the vehicle. That's when they began to bank on you defaulting on the loan. Because why would you keep paying for a loan that's unfair, that you're never going to pay off? Why would you do that? So I just want to warn you that this whole thing that you've experienced is a script. American Credit Acceptance trains the car dealerships on how to purchase the right vehicles to sell you, on how to dupe you into the loan by lying to you about other banks not approving you, how to make you wait for hours in the dealership, which is not necessary, and how to lie to you to force you into the American Credit Acceptance loan. I hope that this video has been helpful for you. And I tell you that there are many, many, many thousands of victims that are experiencing the same thing as you. And to take heart, because there's hope on the other side of this. And you can get out of this situation. And you can get your money back from American Credit Acceptance. Thank you for watching.